Hi, welcome to another episode on Mind Your Soul with me as your host, Farah Neuroscience, and my co host, Haidar. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, today's episode, we're going to talk about healing, which is something we both have been, well, we've been on this journey individually for some time now. And so, we thought it would be a good subject to talk about.
Yes, you can call it a follow-up to our previous episode,
Yeah,
when
definitely.
we talked a little bit about we got through anxiety and when was the first time we experienced both of us, which type of anxiety is there to talk about, and the different experiences we had in our previous lives. So today, I think it will be a good follow up to just talk about this topic of healing from anxiety and healing from those triggers that
100%.
that's actually inside of us. You can call it for life, maybe.
Yeah.
I think many people misunderstand the fact that it's okay. It's okay to have triggers. It's okay to not heal from triggers. It's not necessarily healable all the time. Some of them might be healed. Some of them might s- might getting stuck with you forever. Uh, that's actually my opinion. Maybe I'm still personally in growth. I'm still learning every day. My thought pattern, my thought process, and uh, learning my own triggers, learning
Mhm.
how to manage them, navigate throughout the day. Um, so yes, I think it would be a good topic to talk about.
Yeah, I think we're both on our self journey to get to know ourselves better. And this is where healing comes in. We both suffer from anxiety in different types. And it's how actually you respond to the triggers. And it's also when you are conscious about your thought patterns, you're conscious about you have these things and that you need to like how you respond to that specific situation is actually how you heal. This is how I see it. Like healing is in different perspectives, but it's like how you respond to that thing or that trigger that comes to your present from your past and how you like cope with it. This is then it's healing because you're consciously aware of what's going on, and then you can actually move on, and this is what is called healing. For those who do not know what healing specifically covers, is when you are aware of the problem that you have and you're trying to handle it. That is called healing. I think it was
I,
important just to explain that, first of all.
I think the fact when we use the word healing, it's actually a level above of what you just said. Because if you ask me, when we're talking about healing from a trigger, from anxiety, from something specific that is arising every day, that is happening to you or happened to you in the past, when we talk about healing, is actually not to respond to it anymore. So if you still experience responding or reacting to some sort of anxiety or something that just comes up in the middle of the day, that you have to navigate through, that you have to use some resources, some energy to actually regulate from that trigger, um, that is actually not healing from it. That is just learning how to cope with. I
Okay,
think
you're right.
there's
You're
I
right.
I I,
It's the
I
next
think
level. That's a
I
good
think
definition.
that yes, I think there is a difference between coping with a trigger, anxiety, and actually healing from it. When we talk about healing, it's like you just close the case forever. You know, you closed it whenever whenever it pops up, whenever you think about it. You don't have those triggers anymore because you faced it once and for all. You face the finale of that trigger because you finally got to a point where you have the right resources to actually heal from it.
Yeah,
So,
but there are some things you cannot heal from, which is like a constant thing going on in your life. So you are aware of it and you can't completely heal from everything. It depends on what it is. I mean, You know what I
Of
mean?
course, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. It always depends on what is the specific topic, what is the specific trigger, what is the previous experience that caused you to feel that way. But I think it's very important to tell everybody that there is difference between cope with something and actually heal from something. So when we talk about healing, we're talking actually about you closing the case forever. You're never gonna feel that way again. You're never gonna get triggered by that anymore because you actually healed from it. You got the right resources. You used those resources and you faced your fear and you actually closed your own case. So, as long as you feel triggered from that specific experience or anxiety, as long as you have something that triggers you to think about it for maybe a moment, you're not healed from it. You're just learning how to cope with
But
it.
then you're still healing. I think then you're still on the healing path. Like you're not
Yeah.
totally healed, but you're still
When
like
we
on the healing
when we
path.
yeah, yeah. When we talk about healing, we're talking about that you got the right resource to heal from it. You actually dug down deep inside of you and
Mhm.
found out where this is coming from. And when you do that kind of therapy on yourself and you have the right resources to dig deep and actually solve the problem from the inside, that is, in my opinion, called the healing process. So, the other process that we both experience right now, which are we coping with it every time it arises, we know how to regulate, uh, we know how to push it to the side and still get on with our lives, is called coping with it. It might be called the healing process. It might be called just to cope with it.
Mhm.
For in order for you to actually heal from it, you have to have the right resources. And it's okay sometimes just to tell yourself, I don't have the right resources to actually heal from this one, but I'm coping with it, I'm living with it. It doesn't affect my life at the present moment. um, it is a memorized script, a memorized something from the past that is still um,
Still there in the present.
inducted in you still,
Mm.
and it still arises from time to time. Sometimes you feel more anxious than others. Sometimes you have a good period, but it's actually important to try to separate those things from each other, because healing from something is when you have the right resource in your hand. Whatever you got, whatever information you have now that you didn't have previous, it will actually help you to finally get to the finale and heal from it, if you know what I mean.
I do completely. So when you are conscious, you move from your primal brain, which is the brain part that we use like all the time, like 24/7, never sleeps. I mentioned this before. So if we try to like look at our brains, the primal brain, which is our ancient brains, the emotional brain, it has so many names, reptilian brain, whatever. It's there to protect us 24/7, and it reacts instantly. So when you move that part to the rational part of the brain, the neocortex, when you're conscious about your things, this is where logic kicks in. This is where healing kicks in, because you always react unconsciously to things. 90% of our decisions are made unconsciously. So when you get there, already there, you're already on your healing journey, because you already moved across that border. So you're moving towards a more conscious living, and when you have that conscious living, you can actually heal from things. You cannot heal from things when you don't even know what you're healing from. So already there's a big shift. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, again, it depends on the specific topic and the
Of course
specific
it does.
the specific trigger. But as soon as the logic kicks in and you feel safe, you feel comfortable because you're now thinking rationally, you know exactly that this is not going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you are on the rational side right now, if you still don't have the right information or the resource to actually heal from this one, you might get along with just thinking logically and coping with it, and just feel comfortable that don't worry, this is not gonna hurt you at any
Yeah,
moment.
this will pass or something.
But
Yeah.
if you don't have further information of, or you have anything else, um, in terms of resource, you, it will come back.
100%. Of course it will. You need to know how to cope. Like you need the resources. 100%. Of course you do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it will keep coming to the surface.
It will
All.
it will keep it will keep finding itself to the surface,
Mhm.
and you just have to get stronger to knowing yourself, know how to push it down once again, because the only thing you can do at this moment is actually just learn how to push it down as fast as possible. So if I use my personal experience, maybe previously I would learn eventually how to push it down back again in my unconscious mind. So the way I the way I started out is every time I get triggered, it maybe lasts for a half a day or maybe a
Mm.
full day. Um, and versus where I'm at today, actually takes me maybe a minute to just push it right back down.
Well, again,
Um,
I would say it depends on the
it
topic.
depends on which topic, because if you just had a conversation yesterday, about all your triggers, and you just got them all on the surface and talked about them out loud, you can't just you can't just push them down like you usually do in a minute. You will have to wait it out for maybe one full day to actually push them all back down, because you just took the chance to get them all out to all up to the surface, and talked about them out loud, and got to the specific details about your triggers, and what is actually going on with you, and what you experiencing every day. um, you actually took a big risk right there, because now you have to face the fact that it's not going to take you it's not only going to last a minute for you to regulate from that, because you just got them all out.
Hmm.
So, as you said, it depends on the specific topic, and
It does. Yeah.
um, what's the intensity of those triggers. But if you,
Mm.
like me, just had a conversation about all this yesterday, then you can see right now on my face that I'm still dealing with it. I'm still pushing him down, but
Yeah, I was.
I'm confident.
Mm.
I'm confident enough to know that as soon as we hit 10 p.m. today, the I'm gonna feel much better than I'm feeling right now.
100%. I was
Uh,
also going to mention that for me, healing, I'm still on my healing path. It's been very painful. I want to address the pain aspect of healing because getting in touch with your emotions and just letting them flow through you and having days where I sometimes feel emotionally drained because I'm overwhelmed. I have the resources to cope with it, but sometimes too many things happen at once. This is life. It happens for all of us. This is nothing new. And as a highly oversensitive person as I am, I think I feel more pain than many others because I'm highly oversensitive. So it affects me more. And as an extrovert slash introvert, I when I'm feeling emotionally drained, I need to be alone. I need to be around nature. I need to be around water. I need to cope with it myself alone. I need to process it before I can talk to others about it. So I kind of shut myself down, and it comes as a surprise to people because an extrovert on the outside, but I have this other side as well where I need to be in my cave. This is how I heal. I let my emotions flow through me, and I cope with it. I'm consciously aware of the pain that I'm feeling in the moment, but I know how to address the pain and then work through it so I can get through my day. So it also takes me half a day or a whole day, but then I'm okay and I'm back to life, and it's not like it's gone, but I've dealt with it. So this is my healing mechanism, or what you can call it. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. I don't know
Coping
how it is with
mechanism.
you. Yeah, it's my coping mechanism. This is how I heal, but it is pain has been a big part of it, like feeling the pain and working through it. Yeah.
I think a lot of pain comes also from fear, uh,
Yeah, probably.
because fear is the number one topic you will
Fear
talk
is the
about when,
strongest emotion you can feel, actually.
yeah,
Uncertainty and fear, yes.
and it actually it's based on protection, because as a human being, you come from you just build that way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're built in a way, in a certain way, because your body always seeks out protection. If it scans the room and see there's something to be scared of, then
True.
the anxiety kicks in. So
100% it does.
in today's modern world, we don't live in a forest where we have to hunt for our food, or
No.
get chased by a bear or a lion or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
But the trigger is the same. So when you get triggered, when you get the fear feeling, it is exactly the same from 200 years ago, when
Mm-hmm.
um, when people used to live in caves and don't have that much clothes, and they have to hunt for their food, and
And their basic
um,
survival, I mean, they had to
the
like
basic survival, yeah,
survival
and they
each
have,
day. Yeah. Yeah.
and as soon as they go hunting, they have to be aware of the bears and the lions that can chase you and eat you alive. uh,
That's true.
that trigger, that feeling of fear is exactly the same feeling you get today. There is no difference between it. But in today's modern world, it only comes as an information, as a something that happens to you, that is not going to
Mm.
kill you or take your life or something, but it will give you the exact same feeling as you felt, like the ancestors back in 200 years ago. Is the same mechanism that runs through your body. So it's actually also important to understand the role of a human being, and how we built from the start. To actually get this kind of understanding, it will help you coping with whatever is going on with you much better. So back to the healing part. It also depends on, again, what's the topic, where's the current situation, what happened to you exactly. um, and again, if you don't have the right resources, the right information for
Yeah,
you in
sometimes
order,
you do need like coaching, you do need a therapist, you do need like
of
I've done
course.
all of that. I've done all of that. So this is why I am where I am, because I've also used professional help, because there are certain things you need professional help to cope with, and I've done all of that. And I'm a big fan of coaching, and this is how we connected. Um, so I'm a big fan of therapy. I'm a big fan of everything that has to do with your inner self, to work with your inner child, because things that happen in your past is actually present in your adult self, and you need to address the past triggers. This is what all the healing is about. It's about healing your inner child and being conscious about how you live your day-to-day life today. And even though we're not consciously aware of how we are as adults, it has everything to do with how we were raised as children. So this is something I think is a beautiful thing to explore. So I would highly recommend doing coaching or therapy sessions or whatever, so you can work through your healing. Yeah, and be the best self version of yourself.
And also, it depends on the personality of the person that is experiencing all this. Because if we go back to my first time experiencing anxiety, the first
Mm.
thing the first thing a beginner would think is, how do I remove this feeling?
Mm.
And learning in the future, there is no removing, there is no taking away something that already happens inside of you. You have to You actually have to learn the human body all over again. It's like the first grade all over again. So you have to learn how the human body works. you have
Mm,
to you have to accept the fact that this is going to happen to you often in the future. Maybe you never experienced it because you were in your early 20s, and you didn't have responsibilities. You didn't have those kinds of experiences, and you have your school, your grades, your exams, and you're playing sports, maybe working out. This is your whole life. But as soon as you get older, have more responsibilities like I'm having right now. I have a wife, a child, run a business. I have many risks that can happen to me in my
tell
normal
me
life.
about it.
You know, those are the kinds of triggers you can get
Mm,
in the modern world today, versus
mm,
back then.
true.
So first time I was experiencing anxiety back in 2018 was, my only thought was not to, okay, I need to cope with this, I need to learn this, because I never knew any of this stuff. I just knew
Mm,
I just knew I'm feeling a way I don't supposed to feel because I never felt this way. I just need to remove it. So experience it enough, and it keeps arising, it keeps coming back, taught me to actually dig deep down and
mm,
understand that where this is coming from. And okay, so this is actually how it feels to be a human. As soon
mm.
as you understand this one, you can move to the next chapter of learning yourself all over again, and begin the coping process of coping with it.
Yeah, I was
So
just
it
going to say that self love and self healing is a warrior practice to look deep within and not run for the hills. Like you said, like you want to push that feeling away, is actually running for the hills. We try to numb ourselves. We try to like over exercise or go be more social or whatever, how we cope with it. We try to numb our feelings instead of facing them. That is the warrior practice, facing them. Otherwise, you cannot heal from it. You cannot heal from the pain. You cannot heal from the grief, whatever you're facing. If you numb yourself with over exercising, um, over working out, overworking, or overdoing whatever you're doing, just to numb your feelings and not be present with yourself and your thoughts and your emotions, you can never heal from it. So it's supposed to be a painful process. I just want to highlight that because many think this is not, it's going to be like all red roses and stuff. No, the pain is good and it's part of life. This is how you heal. Like you need to face the pain.
funny thing, um, back then I remember something, because if 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 we would look at it objectively, from a sky perspective, if you're experiencing anxiety for the first time, um, what is actually going on? You're feeling some sort of fear. This is the number one, and you have the two part of brain. You have the rational part, the logical part, and the
Mhm.
other part. What do you call it? Reptile.
Yeah, it has so many names.
It has so
Primal
many
brain,
names. Yeah.
emotional brain. Yeah.
So what is actually going on right there? As soon as the fear kicks in, you don't know anything about it. You have never experienced something like that before, and your reptile part of your brain kicks in, and you feel all those emotions and the fear, and
And your
everything
body
is
reacts, you sweat more, you have faster heartbeat or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And as soon as you get to a state where you feel comfortable, your rational part of your brain kicks in, and you feel safe.
Mm.
So funny thing is, when you don't understand the fact that it can come back, at that moment you feel that it's over. It's actually a funny thing, because it's your first time experiencing
And of course,
anxiety,
it's not over. This was just the beginning.
but you don't know
I
that
know.
for a fact, because you're still a beginner
It was
with
the
this
first
one.
time you experienced it. So yeah, that was just the beginning.
As soon as I got to that comfortable state, and my rational part kicked in, and I felt safe, I think, oh, okay, it's over. I'm never gonna experience this ever again. So, couple of months passes by, and we're back at it once again. And as soon as the
Because you didn't
second
deal
time,
with it. Yeah.
as soon as the second time kicks in, you actually begin to fear even more, because you now begin to think, is this ever going to end?
Mm-hmm.
And then the coping mechanism, the actually learning yourself all over again, learning what is anxiety, learning how it is to be a human being. I think a second time will be the best time to start learning about more yourself. And now you understand that what happened previously, why did it go away, how did it come back. There's a two-part of brain you have. This is the rational part, this is the reptile part. You experience fear, it can always arise. So all
Mm.
this kind of understanding that the process kicked in at the second time I experienced it. The
Mm.
first time is all about just removing it, and it just wanted to go away. And as soon
Yeah,
as
trying to numb it. Yeah, trying to run
yeah,
from it. Yeah.
as soon as it got away, you just felt safe and comfortable, and you think, ah, yes, now I can move on with my life. So it took me a second round to actually begin my coping process,
Mm.
to know exactly, okay, what happened the first time, how did it go away, how did it come at the first time, why did it come back? Oh, it did come back because I didn't learn how to cope with it. Is it gonna last me as much as last time? And all those no numerous question you would have for yourself when I experienced it for the second time. It only took about a year before it came back, and it came back strong. It came back at the
It gets
highest. And
stronger and stronger if you don't deal with it. It will get worse. That's why I'm saying you need to deal with the pain.
mm,
Otherwise, you wouldn't heal. Yeah.
you have to feel uncomfortable to
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
get.
it's supposed to feel uncomfortably. I just want to address that for those who did
mm,
not know. It's supposed to feel this way. If it feels uncomfortably and you're addressing it, then you're already healing. Actually, you're doing something about it.
you have to suffer.
You have to suffer, but life is a big part is suffering. I'm not saying we're here to suffer. I'm just saying that a big part of healing from your past and your inner child is feeling the pain and not numbing the pain and running away from it, because it will always be there. So if you want to heal, you need to do this. Let's try and end this episode with some practical tools. I think we mentioned already some of it. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. You're supposed to feel the pain. Haider, as a life coach, do you have any practical tools to how you like? Could you give some advice for our listeners? And I will do the same at the end. Practical tools to how you can cope. Well, we already did the episode on anxiety triggers and how to cope with it, but like healing. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to share with our audience?
Actually, I have a couple of tips
Yeah.
you can use right away. As soon as you feel those emotions overwhelming you, feeling the fear, don't panic.
Mm.
This is the first lesson. Don't panic. It's a normal human process. It's a normal process. This is actually the perfect time for you to grow as a human.
Mm-hmm.
So don't panic. Feel, where is the pain coming from? Where does it sit on your body? Try to dig deep down and find out yourself, where does this coming from? Where is it coming from? The second thing is actually just be aware of what is happening to you when you're experiencing those kind of emotions. Don't
Mm.
just panic about it. Don't just get uncomfortable being uncomfortable, and learn just actually to be in it. Don't
Mm-hmm.
panic about it. Be aware of your thought pattern, um, and just take notice. Take some notes. Make sure that that you learn more about your thought pattern, and be aware of when it comes, when it goes, how did it go away, how did I feel comfortable, am I ready for the next round, because there will be a next round.
There will be
Just
many
being,
rounds if you don't
there will
address
be
it.
many rounds, yeah. But
Yeah.
each round gets more and more easier to handle if you do it the right way. So just don't panic every time something arises. Try to learn where it comes from, and be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of your triggers,
Mm-hmm.
and And just remember one thing: you are a human being. You're supposed to feel that way,
Hmm.
and
That's very true.
it's actually the only way for you, in order for you to grow as a human, is actually feeling uncomfortable.
Hmm.
This
True.
is your chance to actually get to a point in your life where you can emotionally control everything in your body.
Yes, and you can control your emotions. You
You
can learn
can
how to
control
control
the
your
emotions.
emotions.
You can control which decisions you're gonna take. Are you making decisions from your emotions, or are you making decisions from your rational brain?
Mm.
That is a big lesson that I
Well,
have learned over the
unconsciously we are
past.
influenced by,
Yeah,
but you need to
and
take a rational decision. Therefore, we always suggest, as a neuroscientist, I would say, when you're feeling overwhelmed and emotionally, you do not make any decisions because you cannot think rationally. You have to make your decision rationally, otherwise it will bite you in the ass later on. So never do that. Never do take any important decisions when you're
never
feeling this
take
way.
any important decisions when you're feeling overwhelmed and your reptile brain is on fire.
Yes, don't
Never
do
tell
that.
anyone, never tell anyone a secret that you just have to tell anyone if you're not supposed to tell them. Wait for your rational brain to kick
To
in,
kick in. I
and
agree.
then you're gonna thank yourself for not telling anyone.
Exactly.
Just
I agree.
rem- just remember to don't panic, be in it, fake it till you make it. I don't care. Just don't act of your emotion.
Yeah.
This is the best lesson I've ever learned by myself, actually.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say, and just ending the episode on healing. Very good advice, Haidar, by the way.
Thank
Mine
you.
advice was not very different from yours. It was the same. So yeah, it's supposed to feel comfortably, just wrapping healing up, and yeah, feel your emotions, but do not take any important decisions based on your emotions because they have to be rationalized. And do mindfulness. If you need to retreat, if you need to be yourself, so you can cope with the rest of your day, do that, and remember that you will not die from this. And if you don't address it, it will keep coming to the surface. So if you want to heal from something, you need to feel uncomfortable, you need to feel the pain, and you need to deal with it and not numb yourself. Yeah, so that was
Can
the
I
ending.
can I say something very
Of
quick?
course.
You're gonna get to a point. This is very important information. You're gonna get to a point where you're actually gonna laugh every time a trigger comes through your brain. So you
I'm not there yet, though.
you're going to get so comfortable being uncomfortable because you know so much about your thought pattern. You know, oh, so this is the time again when this trigger is going to come out. Just come out where you're welcome. uh, you're going to get to a point where you actually can laugh because you just know this road. You know everything about your thought pattern. You know when it comes,
That's next
how long
level. When you get there, I would say that is next
how
level.
long it's gonna last. You just know so much about your thought pattern that even when you are in the moment and uncomfortable, you're gonna going to get comfortable because you know it's not gonna hurt you. You know you are in control. Um,
And
you
everything is temporarily, nothing lasts forever. I mean, everything is temporarily, so it will pass, but you need to address it. Like everything happens for a reason, and you're feeling these things because you need to address it. So yeah, but I think that's next level thing that you're mentioning that you'll laugh at it. I'm not there yet myself. So
how did I get there? I just think it's the more you experience it,
I think it's admirable that you're there. I'm not there,
the
but
more
I'm
you're
very
gonna grow.
conscious about what's going on, and I'm trying to heal from so many things.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on
All
that
right.
journey myself. Yeah. Thanks for
Cool.
listening, you guys. Please subscribe to my channel, Mind Your Soul by Farah Neuroscience, and follow us on Instagram. You can see our names: Haidar, who is a life coach, Haidar Mental Fitness, and me, Farah Neuroscience. I preach about this all the time from a brain perspective. So go and follow us, and do leave a comment if you want to have similar episodes or something that you're interested in. Let us know. Thanks. Thanks for coming today, Haidar. It was a joy as always. Yeah. So we're gonna end this now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.